Richard from Burning Spears. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm cooking one of my favorite types of food. It's a curry. It's a chicken curry, and it's a Durban style chicken curry. Durban being the city in South Africa. So for those who don't know, Durban and KwaZulu-Natal, which is a province in South Africa, houses one of the largest populations of Indians outside of India itself. So you can just imagine the amount of spice that's been infused into our South African culture, color, vibrance, and it's a great mix into the overall general diversity that we have and that we celebrate. So I'm doing this Durban style one to show you how Durban or South African Indian cuisine is generally it's very similar to Italian. It's the grandmother teaching the mother and the daughter. Sometimes quite a lot of men cook as well, but it's very family oriented and quite strict. The basic techniques are overall the same. Some things are very similar, but they'll always have one or two things that in their eyes make their curry the best. So it's not like you have a mix of Northern Indian curries and Southern Indian curries and all the various connotations thereof. It's curry. So they'll have a chicken curry, a lamb curry, a mutton curry, beans curry, things like that, crab, mushroom, and all of those bases and recipes are slightly different but follow a similar path. So it's a very intricate curry, and I was fortunate to have and spend a lot of time with an Indian family in KwaZulu-Natal and Durban, just north of Durban, a place called Ballito and Salt Rock. And I was really fortunate to eat there often, to cook with them often, and all around have amazing times and stuff like that. So I picked up a lot of stuff. Of course, I don't have that finite gift and that like sixth sense of spicing that the Indian population have. Really, the feel is amazing. It is quite stunning. And you'll go there and there's no measurements. They just throw, and depending on what blend of spice they'll use, they will use different quantities. They've just got such an intricate and complex feel and knowledge. So I have sought extensive guidance from them, and I think I'm going to pull this off today. I hope so. I hope I'm going to do this justice. It'll never be the same, but I hope to come close at least. So stick around and marvel at all the complex and spices and flavors that are going to happen, and the techniques, the layering of techniques, etc., etc. For instance, we're going to start off making a paste. That paste is by weight equal portions: garlic, fresh ginger, green chili, coriander or dhania, fresh leaves, and fresh mint. So that's going to be the first component, and then we're going to do the second component, and we're going to temper the oil with the spices and get the spices tempered down as well, because unless the spices are roasted like they are garam masala, you need them to temper out and to cook out and soften and everything like that, so that your curry takes on that flavor, that your curry doesn't taste like a bucket of sand or powdery, so it's got the right mouthfeel, etc., etc. So there's a lot of steps and a lot of processes. Hope I get it right, but luckily I've had good guidance, so do keep watching. Okay, so ingredients wise, we have fresh mint, fresh coriander, fresh garlic, fresh ginger, fresh green chili, curry leaves, more fresh green chili sliced in half but still together, 2 bay leaves, some jeera, some aniseed, some cinnamon, potatoes, onions, tomatoes, ground coriander, crushed chilies, crushed cardamom, salt, pepper, turmeric, masala mix, and more jeera, some extra special garam masala, extra special mother-in-law masala, extra special Durban masala, extra special curry powder hot, extra special chili powder, and extra special dhania and jeera powder, coriander and cumin. Extra special because I'm extra special and this is an extra special dish. So what I've done on the chicken, I've deboned it, deboned all of the fine rib bones and stuff like that after I cut it and skinned it, and I thoroughly washed it. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, sort of equal parts ginger, garlic, green chili, fresh coriander leaf, fresh mint, and also of course the curry leaves. They go into the paste as well, which I didn't mention earlier. So I'm going to blend it up. I'm going to mix it all together in a bowl and then blend it up to get a nice sort of pesto pasty type feel. It must be fairly smooth and not gritty, but of course not an absolute fine puree. It doesn't have to be there. I do have some water on standby in case I get too much of a dry result, but should hopefully not have to need it. Okay, right, so I'm putting the chicken in here. I'm going to put around 3 tablespoons of this in there. Did add a bit too much water. I should have used my stick blender. Okay, so that I'm going to set aside while we start with the next phase. What I can tell you now is how beautiful the smell is. The mint is very strong, coriander, and you surprisingly don't get the what you'd think would be the stronger components, the garlic and the chili. So it's not this is as I've said, this is more to tenderize and slightly flavor the meat. It's not to dominate the curry with those flavors. Alright, so I'm going to use sunflower oil. You need to use a vegetable oil for a curry and not an olive oil because of the high heat, and you don't want that flavor of the olive oil in the curry. It's not traditional, and there might seem to be a lot of oil, but there's a lot of spice going in, so you need to flavor the oil and temper the spices with enough oil so that the mouthfeel is good and that the whole dish comes together better. So I'm going to put it on a high heat initially. Then I'm going to add the sunflower oil now. Just a bit more for luck. Right, so I'm going to wait to get this oil nice and hot, so that it pulls and tempers quickly and adequately. Luckily with induction cookers you don't have to wait too long. So I put a couple little seeds in there to indicate for me when the oil's hot enough. You can see them swimming around like little tadpoles. Okay, so dry spices go in first, right? And that's of course to get the flavor out of them, unhinged. And then the tomato and onion will go in to thicken the gravy. Okay, the aromas are coming off now, smelling beautiful. So the onions go in next. Okay, so I'm going to cook these till they're just translucent before we add anything else. Okay, and then some chilies will go in now, and then we'll leave some chilies for when we're simmering a bit later. And you'll be surprised with the amount of green chilies you see going in and went in the paste. The heat isn't really extreme from them by the way they're cooked and the way they're cooked down. It's quite surprising in many aspects. I'm going to add a little bit of paste, 1 tablespoon. Get that nice and tempered as well, maybe a bit more. Almost, let's think of it as your tomato paste. So you want to cook the greenest out of this now, essentially. You can smell it on the nose when the paste is cooked out. Again, this is all about layers of flavors and developing the flavors, adding things at the right time. And add the tomatoes now. Tomatoes are one of the main ingredients and textures for the gravy side of it as well. Because traditionally a chicken curry is more yellow than red, and lamb is possibly a bit more brown. A lot of that has to do with the different amounts of garam masala put in, as well as in relation to the chili powder and the curry powders, etc., etc. Okay, so you could put a lid on, but as I'm filming, I'm going to keep it live. Now we're going to wait for the tomatoes to soften so you can squash them, crush them. So that'll take a few minutes. Okay, tomatoes soften nicely now, crushing it in. This is basically where you want to be. Smelling fantastic. Right, so I'm going to add some turmeric now. That's about a tablespoon, teaspoon, sorry. Maybe a little bit more, until I'm happy with the color. And an old Ayurvedic principle is you use black pepper to activate the turmeric. Right, at this stage you go down to a medium heat so that you don't burn your spices. And now the spices come. The exciting part. Okay, so I'm going to put some dhania and jeera powder in. I think it's around about 3 heaped teaspoons. And then the garam masala. Also about 3. The cardamom powder. That I roasted earlier and ground that up. I didn't have any pre-ground, so it's more flavorful than normal. And just because it's so pungent, I'm going to do 1 and a little bit of teaspoons. Now you can see why you use so much oil in the beginning. You can see how dry it is. And you can add a bit of water when you get dry like this, just to slow down the process and so that you don't have to put so much oil in, I suppose. Okay, so my camera idled off, but you haven't missed anything really. The brown spices, as you've seen, are in. Oil is tempered so far. We're going to temper it a bit more with everything. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of hot curry powder, always heat. A tablespoon of mother-in-law masala. And a tablespoon of chili powder. As I'm on a medium heat now, I'm not too stressed that I'm going to burn anything. I've just got to keep working it, get it mixed while dry. And then hit it with some water. So I just see it loosen up, nearly there. Flatten out on the bottom of the pan. So you should see these pools of red oil forming already. That means the tempering is nearly done. All of the red spices have gone into the oil as well. Right, I'm very happy with that. Water's basically gone. Oil is fully tempered. So I put a bit of water in and used warm water, and I can smell the spices are really developing nicely now. So you want the oil to come up now, and you'll see the color in the oil, and that's when you know you're ready, almost ready for the next phase. So I hope you can see the pools of oil all coming up. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. All that oil's come up and it's dry on the bottom. So I'm going to add the chicken now, and just definitely not going to add any water at this next stage, because we want the water to come out of the chicken, and that'll lubricate everything up should it be a bit dry. We want to coat the chicken, of course, in the tempered spice mix, and then also we want to cook out the paste that the chicken's been sitting in. It's only been sitting in this for half an hour. You could have it marinate for a long time overnight if you really wanted to. And there's various other things that you can do depending on what you want to do. You could use a little bit of yogurt, a little bit of buttermilk, anything like that. Or in South Africa we use a soured milk, which is called a masi. Okay, I'm going to put the lid on for a bit, just to try and keep some of that steam in there as well, and cook better and more consistently. If it was sticking, you would add water as an absolute last resort, and only a tiny amount at a time, because you really, like I say, you really want to get that moisture out of the chicken. Right, because we've still got big fat potatoes to cook, I want to get them in fairly soon. And of course we add some water with the potatoes, so now you can see how the gravy has developed. Beautiful. Alright, so you won't have seen any salt go in until this time. I'm about to put some coarse salt in, and that's because you don't want too much moisture and flavor leaving the chicken. You still want it to get rid of some of it, but not get rid of it all. And the chicken's still got a long time to cook with those big potatoes, so we want as much juice and flavor in the chicken. And of course we can now gauge our seasoning overall by doing it this way. So it's probably 2 tablespoons, maybe a little less than that, but not a lot less. So we'll let this cook down for quite a while with the lid on, and then we're going to stir it up. Still to go in are some more green chilies, and of course a sprig of curry leaf. Green chilies in, and the curry leaf in. Now we want the steam and the relatively slow boil to take care of those potatoes. It's been on the go for nearly an hour. Potatoes are soft. Yes, please. Looking good. Hasn't stuck. That gravy's looking good, man. Not too wet, not too dry. That's why you really concentrate on how much water you add or don't add. You let things develop first. Some garlic butter on the naan. Night time has fallen. I've been smelling this loveliness for long enough. Curry's ready. Let me dish up, and I hope you can eat with your eyes. Man, I know this is going to be so good. Beautiful, beautiful. Man, I miss it. I'd like to dedicate this to my KZN family. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope I did you proud. It certainly tastes almost as good as yours. I never quite match that though. Delicious. Got a bit of spice. A whole lot of spice. So there you go. Durban chicken curry. Complex. Worth it. I hope you enjoyed it. And watch me burn my mouth off once more. How do I forget? Make sure you stay hydrated. And especially when you have spicy food, make sure you've got something cool to sip on hand. Ooh, beautiful. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you soon.